the Gita, says that one should live life like a renunciate without being attached to anything. Yet enjoy the fruits of one's actions without any anxiety or aversion. But how can we live like this? To help us, the sage Vyasa has given us 8 attitudes toward life to cultivate. Let us see these 8 attitudes now. 1. Treat life like a work of art. The second chapter of the Gita is all about yoga, which literally means union. What does it mean? It means the union of our individual soul with the divine. In other words, it is the union of the finite with the infinite, the small with the huge, the individual with the whole, the temporary with the eternal. But how can this be possible? How can the finite become infinite? The answer is simple. It is possible only when we treat our life like a work of art, like a painting or sculpture or music. Like an artist who pours his heart and soul into his creation, we must pour our heart and soul into living our life to the fullest. When we do so, our individual life becomes a work of art, a masterpiece. And this automatically leads to our union with the divine. That is why the sage Vyaseva says to Arjuna, "You have every right to perform your actions, but never identify yourself with the results of your actions." For a person who works without attachment, who does everything as a sacrifice to the Lord, all desires cease to burn. This attitude helps us to find joy in every moment of our life, no matter what situation we are in. We stop worrying about the future because we know that our life is in the hands of a higher reality, and we don't need to worry about it. Number 2, avoid unnecessary luxury and vanity. Another important thing to remember is to not indulge too much in sense gratification, especially in this age of Kali Yuga. If you look around, you will see that people are so addicted to sense gratification. Some people are crazy about eating all kinds of delicious food, while others spend all their time watching TV or movies. Many people waste their precious time just talking about useless things. The worst thing is that they do, and even use their intelligence to understand where all this will lead them. Instead, they keep doing it again and again, thus wasting their precious human life. So, my dear friends, let us take a vow today that we will not waste our lives on unnecessary luxury and vanity. We will use our intelligence to understand the purpose of our life and work hard to achieve it. By doing so, we will not only make our parents proud, but also attain true happiness in our life. Number 3. Find comfort in the beauty of nature. You may ask, how can we be happy always? Can we not get tired of being happy? Well, the answer is yes, we can. But there is something that can refresh our minds and souls, and that is the beauty of nature. When we look at the beautiful sunrise, or the majestic mountains, or the vast ocean, our hearts feel a sense of peace and tranquility. Nature has a healing touch that can soothe our tired minds and rejuvenate our bodies. The wise men say that the best way to overcome sorrow is to immerse oneself in the beauty of nature. When we do so, our negative emotions start to fade away, and we feel lighter and happier. Here's like a reset button for our minds and hearts. Spending some time in nature can work wonders for our mental health and well-being. So whenever you feel overwhelmed with life's problems, just go for a walk in the park, sit by the lake, or simply lie down on the grass and watch the clouds. You will come back feeling refreshed and ready to face your challenges with a smile. Number 4, accept suffering as an inevitable part of life. One of the most important lessons that life teaches us is that suffering is unavoidable. No matter how happy and successful we become, suffering will always be a part of our lives. It is like a shadow that follows us wherever we go. But instead of trying to run away from our suffering, we must learn to accept it as a part of our existence. The truth is that suffering is not something to be avoided. It is something to be embraced. Why? Because suffering is where life is. It is in our suffering that we learn compassion, empathy, and patience. It is through our suffering that we grow and evolve as human beings. Of course, suffering is not pleasant, but we must learn to accept it gracefully and turn it into an opportunity for growth. When we do so, we discover the true meaning of life and attain lasting happiness. 5. Do not fear death, for it completes life. We all have a tendency to run away from death. We try to ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, or distract ourselves with material pleasures, but death is something we cannot escape. It is the ultimate reality of life. It's just as night follows day, death follows life. The wise men say that death is not the end, but a transition to another form of life. It is like closing one chapter of the book of life and starting a new one. We must not be afraid of death. Instead, we should welcome it as a natural part of life's cycle. When we do so, we will realize that death is not something to be feared, but a doorway to eternity. My dear friends, let us live our lives to the fullest. Knowing that every day is a gift from God, let us not waste our time in fear or worry, but use it to spread love, kindness, and compassion to all. Number 6, live each day as if it were your last. We often hear people say, "You only live once," but the truth is, we live many times. Each day we have the opportunity to start over, to choose a different path, to become a better version of ourselves. Every day is a new beginning, a chance to make things right. But how many of us actually take advantage of this opportunity? How many of us wake up each morning with a clear intention to make the most of it? The answer is not many. Most of us wake up and start our day without any direction or purpose. We just go through the motions, doing the same things we did yesterday, saying the same words, thinking the same thoughts. But this is not how we should live our lives. We should wake up each morning with a sense of gratitude and excitement. We should ask ourselves, how can I make today the best day of my life? We should be open to new experiences, new people, and new ideas. We should not be afraid to take risks or step out of our comfort zone. It's only then can we truly live life to the fullest. No. 7. Do not blame fate. Find meaning within it. Many people think that their lives are controlled by fate or destiny. They believe that everything that happens to them is beyond their control, and they have no choice but to accept it. But this is not true. Our lives are not controlled by fate, but by our own choices and actions. Of course, there are things that happen in life that are beyond our control, such as the death of a loved one or a natural disaster. But even in these situations, we still have a choice. We can choose how we react to these events, whether we allow them to define us or break us. We can choose to find the meaning in our suffering and turn it into an opportunity for growth. When we do so, we realize that we are not victims of fate, but masters of our own destiny. Number 8, life is a constant struggle, but through it comes growth. As we go through life, we will encounter many struggles and challenges. There will be times when we feel like giving up, when the pain and suffering seem too much to bear. But we must remember that these struggles are not meant to destroy us. They're meant to make us stronger, more resilient, and compassionate. These struggles are like the fertilizer that makes our life grow. They help us to develop qualities such as patience, perseverance, determination, and humility. Without these qualities, we cannot attain true success and happiness in life. So whenever we face challenges, we should not be afraid. Instead, we should embrace them as an opportunity to grow and evolve as human beings. We should not complain or feel sorry for ourselves, but rise above our circumstances and strive to become the best version of ourselves. By doing so, we will not only overcome our struggles, but also attain true success and fulfillment in life. My dear friends, these are the 8 attitudes toward life that we must cultivate to attain true happiness and success. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you always. Namaskar.